If you're anything like me, you probably have hundreds of hours in Terraria, and after playing the game for so long, it can be hard to find ways to keep it enjoyable. I've personally found a few methods that keep Terraria fun and exciting to play even after those hundreds of hours, and I want to share them with you. So here are 12 ways to keep Terraria fresh and fun that you might have not tried yet. A really easy method to keep Terraria fun is through challenges. The game is massive with a bunch of content, so there will always be a new way to challenge yourself. You could avoid using any armor or accessories, force yourself to use less powerful weapons, or never increase your health. That's just a few suggestions, but I would advise coming up with whatever you think sounds the most fun. In a similar vein, Terraria offers a bunch of different game modes, and there's a good chance you haven't experienced all of them. You could go with hardcore mode where you only have one life, journey mode if you want a completely new playstyle, or medium core mode if you hate yourself. Getting every achievement on Steam can be a great challenge. Certain tasks like completing 200 angler quests will take you a long time, but it can be very rewarding at the end. And if you don't want to collect every single achievement in the game, that's fine. You can still look at them and decide which ones you want to get anyway. So if you're not a completionist, there are still a few achievements you might want to check out and obtain. It's important to make sure you check out all of the niche little mini bosses and enemies if you haven't. This might sound crazy, but less than 10% of players have ever fought the Torch God or Dreadnoughtalus. Just over 11% of players have ever even fought Deerclops. So if you're part of that 90% that hasn't fought these enemies, go and fight them. They're pretty interesting. Multiplayer is arguably the best way to play Terraria, by far. Single player is great, but playing with other people can offer a whole new level of fun. If you haven't considered doing a playthrough with a few other people, you're crazy, and you definitely should. I would suggest introducing one of your friends to the game, since the best way for a new player to learn Terraria is with a friend guiding them. If you don't have any friends interested in a Terraria playthrough, then you can always ask people on the Terraria forums or Discord server. I haven't tried this before, but it's probably your best bet, and I'm sure it works. Play modded Terraria. Everybody says it, and there's a reason everybody says it. Modded Terraria is surpassing vanilla Terraria in player count a lot now, and that's because there are so many fantastic mods out there for you to check out. Calamity and Thorium are the obvious choices for an overhaul, but there are constantly cool new experiences. Spirit Reforged and Calamity Fables released only a couple weeks ago, and those mods are really fun. If you don't want anything game-changing though, there are still a bunch of smaller quality of life mods which can make the game feel good as new. Texture packs are great as well. They don't necessarily change the game in the same way that mods do, but a visual overhaul still makes the game feel fresh. There are some phenomenal texture packs out there waiting for you to experience them that not enough people talk about. Some of them just make the backgrounds a little nicer, while others completely change or improve the way Terraria looks. Getting a texture pack is as simple as going to the Terraria workshop on Steam and downloading whichever texture packs you desire. It is so easy. This sounds really dumb, but put some real time and effort into learning how to build. Figure out which blocks work well with one another, learn how to properly use paint, and figure out which builds in general look good. Most players put less thought into what they build and focus entirely on fighting bosses. I'm guilty of this myself, but whenever I make something even half decent, I feel so satisfied at the end of it, and it will be the same for you. I didn't know this until a couple months ago, but PC Terraria actually lets you play older versions of the game. All you have to do is open Steam, right-click Terraria, hit Properties, go to Betas, and then you can select whatever you want. 1.2, 1.1, and even 1.0 are available for you to check out. I would recommend that literally everybody who's played Terraria go and revisit these older versions. If you're a newer player, it can give you some insight into what Terraria was like in the past and where it's improved now, and if you're a veteran, it can be very nostalgic. Something that very few players actually commit to is filling out the bestiary, but it can be a really fun way to keep the game interesting after a while. Getting to see the descriptions, items, and various other stats related to every single creature in the game is really cool. Filling out the bestiary is one of the longest challenges you can commit to in Terraria, but it is more than worth it. You get to experience most of what Terraria has to offer while getting neat little notes on the side. The idea of servers in Terraria doesn't really work, like, at all, but surprisingly, there are a few Terraria minigame servers which are actually pretty fun. Penguin Games has always been my favorite. You aren't going to dedicate your life to these minigames, but it's a pretty good way to pass the time and a very new way to play Terraria. It's always been shocking to me how few people actually realize that there are servers like this in Terraria. Secret Seeds are an amazing method to get more content out of Terraria. It's basically new game modes on steroids. Some secret worlds are more impactful than others, but nearly all of them have some value. My recommendation for anybody's first Secret Seed would of course be For the Worthy. It's the most iconic one by far, and it changes basically everything about the game. Some things for the best, and other things for the worst.
Yeah, we need to walk away from the
Oh.